You're about to listen to a podcast full of wonder, excitement, and discovery. It's time for an adventure through Odyssey. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Adventures Through Odyssey podcast, Odyssey Revisited. I'm Will here with John and Liv. Gabe is actually back in the country this week, but he is currently driving to Michigan, and he did not want to stream from the car. So, we're going to start off today, and we would like to start by kickstarting our trip to Orlando.
Orlando?
Yes. Orlando.
Let me just say on behalf of at least Will, we love the people in Orlando and our prayers are with them.
Oh.
Okay. So, do you want me to start over? I can skip over that part when I edit it.
You know.
So today,
I don't know how many. I don't know if that was offensive or not, so.
I can give a stuffed gator and make it offensive.
Oh my gosh, get out.
Sorry. Okay, so we're talking today about album 23, Twists and Turns. So we're going to kick it off with I Want My BTV. Bernard Walton hears there's a spot open in Odyssey for a new television show, so he gathers the gang from Odyssey together and creates BTV.
Okay, so this was the episode that you guys were like, hey, you guys are going to hate BTV or something like that, or wait till you get to this. Well, now I'm like, at least 2 episodes have passed now, because I'm just finished with Risks and Rewards.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm at a good album. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. You're coming up on a big one.
Yeah, I am. But it's like, it kind of reminded me of, the whole BTV thing kind of reminded me of like Channel 11, only Bible style.
It is basically Odyssey Public Access.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like one problem is some of the BTV episodes are okay. This one, they're just throwing random stuff. Because I get it's supposed to, like, intro the whole idea of BTV, but it's just, like, stuff that doesn't even make sense. They're just like, oh, here's a bunch of random Bible stuff. I think probably is a theme.
They're starting out. They're throwing ideas around.
It's Odyssey's interdimensional cable.
I think Odyssey's too small for cable.
It's true.
True, Wit doesn't have a TV.
I think that is true.
And if they did have a TV, it'd be like those 80s box ones.
Yeah. Well, I think I make a flat screen reference in a pretty recent episode. Maybe I'm wrong. But, I mean, some of the bits are funny. Like, the story of Percival's kind of funny.
Kind of.
I mean, the visual of the story ending of him getting hit by the bus is funnier than the actual story.
Yeah.
But if Percival walked outside and got hit by a bus, then the lesson can be, look both ways before you cross the street.
That seems like the punchline to an Animaniacs joke.
Probably.
Or, yeah, that or it's the...
Wayne's World.
No, Mean Girls. Because they did that for Mean Girls.
I don't like that movie, so I kind of blocked it from my memory.
That was, like, my favorite part of the movie.
Never seen the movie.
I'm a guy, so I might not like it as much. But anyway, not trying to be sexist.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. The truth about Zachary. Lucy Cunningham Schultz tries to make friends with a new boy, Zachary Sellers, and they both face their troubles.
Okay. I have a question, because this is the episode where they explain the mix-up with Lucy's name. Did they make this episode truly just to fix her name, or did they like, oh, here's a good story, let's put it in there?
Because I know for like a couple of albums, it was just Lucy Cunningham, and then they started calling her Lucy Cunningham Schultz.
Right, well,
so I was confused.
In one episode, they accidentally referred to her as Lucy Schultz, because they were getting a lot of new writers, so someone wasn't paying attention. So, I'd like to think they wanted to solve it. I don't think this episode was written expressly to retcon it.
I hope.
Well, it was like, I think it would have happened that way, because like you're angry because someone is giving you trouble for, it's like, you don't understand, and then you're like, really? I don't?
Yeah. I mean, I know if you listen to some of the behind-the-scenes stuff when they re-released the old episodes on CD that I think it may have started as Let's Explain It and kind of just morphed into the truth about Zachary, if I had to take a guess. Because thinking back on it, it's a big part of the plot.
I like Zachary, though.
Yep.
He's a good character.
He's very interesting. I'm trying to think.
I just wish they used him more.
I mean, they used him in probably one of the more interesting Imagination Station episodes.
Yep. one.
Yeah.
Even though it does start to question, okay, what does this machine do exactly? Like,
Yeah.
A very recent
A
clip.
little bit.
Yeah, because
But part of me was wondering through that specific episode if he was ever gonna walk again. But that we can.
right. I mean, they tried their best to explain in that one, but in this, let's go back to this episode. What I'd like to know is how does a boy in a wheelchair build model railroads? That seems
Well,
like
you just wheel over. Like,
Yeah.
you make smaller skinnier tables.
all right. You might not know this, people, but I have a thing for model railroading, and I may host a podcast about it.
No,
Well,
you
here's
don't.
the thing though. If the tables are for children, especially like the work tables,
True.
you could just wheel over to the table and just sit
True.
there with it.
And you can build your own tables, although I doubt
Yeah.
you did. Maybe. Who knows?
Like, he probably has his own little workstation.
Right.
And I think it's the room is like upstairs, so like someone is gonna have to help him or use the service elevator.
True. The one other thing that bothers me is why does the kind of unpleasant character always have to have a tragic backstory? Why not just have him be kind of angry because he's in a wheelchair? Oh, his father died.
I mean,
Because then people are like, well, how did he get in the wheelchair? Because people are naturally curious about that kind of thing.
Could've
So you
just
have
been-
to kind of feed that curiosity to make the audience
True.
yeah.
happy.
I mean,
Okay.
he could have just been born in a wheelchair.
Well, right, but they keep making references to him walking in.
Right. I mean, I get that.
Alrighty.
I get what you're saying.
Alright, next episode. Episode 300, by the way. Preacher's Kid. Where's Gabe when you need him? Donna Barkley has a lot of pressure on her as the preacher's kid and feels like she has to be extra careful about everything she does. You see, we were never quite in this situation
Yeah.
because our dad is a minister, so it's kind of. Well, we weren't burning down old farmhouses, so.
No, but I think it's the stereotype that preachers' families are supposed to live up to a higher standard than everyone else, and I think it's completely dumb. And I'm very
Yeah.
glad that they did it the way they did.
Right. Well, I don't think that exists as much now because people don't go to church within their neighborhood as much.
Yeah,
This is a geographical thing, obviously.
yeah. Well, there's no Nazarene church in where I live, so we have to go to like the adjacent.
City.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like, which is literally like a couple blocks away from
Yeah.
my house, like the next city.
But
So.
I will say, I did like the old lady in this episode because every church has that one old lady.
Yeah, and I think they used her. She was in like something else because I recognize the voice.
Yeah, she definitely was. Let's just say there's an old lady at our church that every staff member has a story about.
We won't reference the name.
We won't reference the
Yeah,
name.
we don't want to get that out.
Definitely not.
Was this what? This was the episode that Eric was in,
Yes.
and I was wondering if it was because I'm like, wait a minute, is that Eric? Is it Eric? I was so happy.
Oh, great.
I love Eric.
You and like 5 people. I'm kidding.
What?
You and like 5 people. I'm teasing. But yeah, I will say Jimmy getting into the old people dinner was hilarious.
Yes. Part of me is like, he's so sarcastic about this.
Right.
But no, he was generally entertained about the puppet show.
He was probably sarcastically entertained about it, though.
Well,
But, you know.
I mean, again, our church never had like an old person's dinner that the pastor was invited to or expected to bring his family.
Yeah.
I know George just became the pastor, so that might be a different dynamic, but
Yeah.
so
Never really know.
exactly. Alrighty. The Good, the Bad, and the Butch. The Bones of Wrath use Butch's connection to Sam Johnson to hopefully get some tickets to a banquet where they are planning to pull a prank.
I mean, this. I appreciate the ending where it's not like all super. Like,
What?
it actually has a very kind of sadder ending, but doesn't it kind of play back to stuff later?
Yeah, it sort of smooths itself out later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I mean, we all had that one childhood friend who kind of went awry.
I do.
John does.
Actually, I haven't spoken to her since she moved away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things where it was kind of, our friendship was weird to like start out with. Like, her mom never really liked me because she thought I was a bad influence.
Well, if the shoe fits.
Okay, and any name Will says in reference to me is not true.
Okay. But you know what?
He whispered to me is not actually gone
Right.
awry.
But you know what I mean? We all kind of know about one person from our childhood who kind of went awry. There was someone from my church Sunday school class, who I will not talk about in detail, but he went super awry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think that's why, like, we all resonate with this episode because we all know someone like
Yeah.
that. They're not all gonna, like, come back because
Right.
I don't think that's not a thing that always happens. It could happen, yes. but
I mean, I think
like I said, I haven't spoken to that person in years, and we have been friends since first grade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's like the episode of Donna and Rachel. I appreciate they don't try to end it on the let's hug and make up sort of thing.
Yeah.
Although this one, again, works itself out later in a way that doesn't make much sense, but,
Yeah, but still kind of.
but yeah.
No focus believes in continuity much.
They start to. The Bones of Wrath kind of become very interesting. I'd like to know what that whole dirty joke was, though. The punchline that the traveling salesman says, but I wanted all three, cannot be that big of a punchline to a dirty joke.
Well, it depends on what they're talking. It depends on what the first part of the joke was, because we didn't hear the first part of the joke.
Right.
But because it's focused on family and Christian,
Well, I know we're not going to tell
really
it.
need to hear it.
I wanted the whole Trinity.
That would be so great if it was set up to a Trinity joke. And then the sprinkler. I've never gotten how the sprinkler's going off is supposed to be some epic prank, but okay.
Well, because it's a bunch of.
Because it meant, because
It was a bunch of people dressed up, and it was supposed to be an event for all the honors kids.
Yeah, imagine if our honors banquet was ruined. The Power Moms would be furious.
oh god.
But our school's not big enough for people to sneak around.
Are you sure about that, John? How do you know we're not in the school right now?
Oh my gosh. Stop it.
Sorry. I just had like 3 Diet Cokes at Finding Dory, so...
Diet Cokes don't do anything.
You'd think that, wouldn't ya? Okay, anyway.
That's like saying I could have 3 bottles of this, which is ginger ale, and then get super hyper.
I mean, there's caffeine in Diet Coke.
Share and share alike. KYDS Radio holds its first annual Share-a-thon and airs some stories on the benefit of sharing our things with others. So, quick thing, I guess Jack Allen is a grandparent because he's got all those mugs. Rest in peace.
Well, yeah, remember, he has a wife.
He had a wife, yes, but they never said if they had kids.
Well, they did him with it to the mugs, or they bought him like best granddad, and then his daughter or son's family had miscarriages.
Way to make this dark live.
Well, that's why that's why
Well, that's
Connie's
why
like world to
That's
his
why he gave him
grandpa.
away.
Yeah,
He doesn't need him anymore because he's not actually a grandpa.
true.
That's why Connie's confused when he says it.
Right, now as far as the actual stories involved in this
I
episode,
don't remember them.
I remember the bathtub one.
I remember the spaghetti strainer bit.
Oh,
Yeah, because
yeah.
it was just like way too out there.
Yeah, was that supposed to
I
be just...
remembered it.
I don't- Was that just supposed to be so out there we were supposed to laugh, or was there supposed to be a reference
I
in
think
there?
it's supposed to be so
I have no
out
idea.
there.
How many spaghetti strainers do you have? 3, actually. But,
Same.
Four.
One that's actual pasta, and then no, 2. One for fruit.
Good idea. But yeah, I remember the bit with Roy, the repairman, who, like, spends all his money on weird things for his house, like a bathtub that gets deeper when you push a button.
Yeah, and brings your soap over to you.
Yes.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know. Like, have you ever tried to take
Like
a...
a little mini shelf that moves.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I imagined it.
Yeah, well, as someone who does not take baths, I don't know how uncomfortable that would be, but
It depends on how big the bath is.
wait, have you used the one? What?
I'm like just tall enough, or I mean just short enough, that I would enjoy baths.
I was about to ask, did you use the bathtubs at Olivet? Or our college?
Good job, Will.
Smooth.
But no, I haven't had the opportunity or the
Okay.
time.
I just don't want to buy a bath plug. But anyway, well, back to you. It's a good lesson on sharing. What's the Bible story they do?
The boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely. Oh, right, they do the expanded universe version of it. Where they tell a
Yes.
backstory. Like when our church did the musical 45-minute version of it. And they stopped.
But it basically
5
was.
minutes?
It was kind
Yeah.
of close.
That's excessive. I
Yeah,
think that's like a little
Well, no.
excessive.
I know. The problem is they stopped every 2 minutes to do the really slow songs. God on high,
Yes, babe.
hear my prayer.
Okay.
That is the wrong play.
But it basically was just like, oh, what can I do? I'm a kid. Kid, you didn't do anything. It was Jesus.
Well, he provided the fish.
You did.
Jesus could have
That's
made fish appear
You
out of
provided
the
it.
air.
Yeah, he could have made it rain fish. It's like the ending of Magnolia. Those are frogs.
Okay, let's go on.
All the difference in the world. Danny Schmidt goes against his parents' wishes when they tell him not to watch a video because it goes against their beliefs as Christians. Where to start with this one?
Yeah.
So, we had a mother like that.
Okay, but not. I don't think it was actually
Okay.
as.
Okay.
I know we get off on this, but like.
Quick thing. I know I just said had. She is still alive.
Right, but she doesn't care what we want.
She was
Well.
like that at one point.
Right.
But it,
But when you get older, she's kind of like,
Yeah.
and she kind of
Right.
like loses it.
he goes off the fact, and don't bring up the other one because I don't think it happened. That she was upset they showed them a PG movie in first grade, and
Yeah.
he goes off of that as the
No.
sole reasoning why.
No, there were-
But I don't. You claim there are others. I don't think there are others.
I'm
But let's just go past that for
I know.
now. They
I'm
get
not-
the point with that.
not talking about. I'm just talking about in general. She was very ratings strict. I think it was the Christian thing. Now, granted, she was in a situation where the whole world saw Star Wars and she couldn't because she had to be 12. But whatever.
Oh gosh.
So we were never in that
I wish to make the
situation.
point. It's a lot harder now
Good.
because there are no G movies that come out.
No, one G movie came out last year and it was on my top 10.
Well, yeah, but it was peanuts. But there's like in general like no G movies, and even
Yeah.
less and less PG movies are
Right.
released.
There was some comedy that did a great joke that, oh, look at the good old PG. Now PG just stands for practically G, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the episode. So I like the fact that they kind of tackle this topic. Danny's parents are a little intrusive on the other kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we talk to his parents about watching movies that are not his age, and it's like,
Well, here's the thing though. The parents should have been paying attention, but what were they doing? They were off in the other room arguing.
Right.
They are responsible for not only their child, but another's.
Yeah. And
It's their responsibility to make sure that nothing goes wrong. So, yes, it was the other parent's fault for this incident.
right, and I will say, John and I were a lot smarter about just knowing what was appropriate and what wasn't. Danny seemed a little more willing to bend the rules in the episode, so maybe
well,
that was it.
If he was willing
Yeah.
to watch stuff that creeped him out that much, that's a problem.
That is true. Now, I will say, if parents tried to do this today...
What?
Sorry, I just got a text, sorry. If parents try to do this today to someone's kid, the parents of the other kid would just have a field day with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'd freak out. But it.
Right.
Also, it's like, even the stuff, like, what was it, Attack of the Mushroom People?
Yes. Those are like the most 50s sounding horror movies ever.
So I doubt they could actually have been that high budget for it to be that scary.
Sounds like Alfred Hitchcock, where it's not really scary, it's just weird.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I don't know. I just never had that all the other kids thing, but...
Yeah. I don't really think I did either, because...
I don't know, I'm just somewhere between. Danny's parents are a little over the top in this episode, but I feel like they also need to talk to the parents if they're worried about their kids' behavior.
I feel like, or just, even if it was just like, hey, can you not watch those movies around my kid? But the fact that they have like a serious... like...
Your kid shouldn't be watching this either stuff. That's kind of intrusive.
Yeah, I mean, I get some parents might have a moment to think, I should probably watch some movies I bought for my kid, but,
Yeah, but then there's also the line where movies are a lot different from when we were kids. But weren't
That's
movies
true.
a little more risque at times? Unless they're just
true.
not even checking if it's R or not. Because even now, like, PG-13 now is a lot of that's just what PG used to be.
right. Yeah, and that's what
I feel like this episode would apply better to, like,
now.
not back then, because now it would be significantly harder to be like, okay, this is a strict rating, because like every kid, even like 3 or 4 year olds, go see Marvel movies, and those are PG-13.
Right. I mean, is that whole thing...
Yeah, well, this episode would have really worked for the whole Deadpool scenario. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go check that text. Keep going.
I mean, like, people knew full well that it was rated R, that it was going to be rated R, because that's just how Deadpool was, but people didn't listen, and then they took their kids out, and I was like...
You'd be surprised how misinformed parents can be and just are led by their kid.
But even...
Yeah, but, like, my cousin used to work for,
A movie theater?
no, not a movie theater, it was,
Well, Liv is figuring that out. I would like to say I was so... This episode, maybe when it came out, was a tie-in with Plugged In, but I'm glad if there's an ad at the end, they took it out. I just thought of that. But,
Yeah, it would have been around the time.
yeah.
it was like a video game store.
Oh, okay. Oh, boy.
And people would buy, like, M-rated video games for, like, their 10-year-old.
Yeah, well... Oh, that's bad.
That also has stuff where it's like, oh, maybe they think it's just like Mortal Kombat from when they were kids.
It was like Call of Duty.
Right. Well, I get kids make their parents buy Grand Theft Auto, but I feel like parents are thinking, oh, it's no worse than like Mortal Kombat, which it was just like over the top blood, when in reality it's a lot worse.
Yeah.
Right, and then... Oh, yeah, and
Or
so...
like Doom, where it was violent, but it's not like
True. The new one or the old one?
like the old Doom.
Okay, right. And then... So I work at a movie theater...
All of Grand Theft Auto games are just...
Disgusting.
The first two aren't okay, I haven't played any of them. The first two are just top-down, like, car games. We're trying to avoid the police. I mean, they're still not good, but they're not nearly as bad as 3, 4, and
Just
5.
remember, everyone, VeggieTales made a Grand Theft Auto
That
reference.
is true.
Did they?
Grand Theft Gelato.
It's in their Avengers team-up episode.
Oh.
But...
That would be like New VeggieTales, because I haven't watched New VeggieTales, because I think it's
Right.
dumb.
Yeah, but the last point I'll say is I do work at a movie theater, so we're all kind of prepping for all the kids who made their parents take them to see Sausage Party.
No!
Like, but even the Green Band trailer should probably hint that it's not a movie for kids.
I think they do hint at that, though, in the Green Band trailer.
I know.
The cast, they can tell that it's not a kids movie. Seth Rogen is in it.
Seth Rogen was in a kids movie. I can't think of it right now, but I'm pretty sure he was.
He's in Sausage Party.
No,
I know that it's bad.
I know.
He was in some.
I feel like he was in some family movie a while ago. Well, okay, so last thing I'll say is, there's no Shameless Plugged In promotion. Nothing will ever be as shameless as at the end of a VeggieTales episode about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, where the Bob and Larry stuff is about a kid wanting to watch a TV show that he's not supposed to watch with his friend. So at the end, Larry turns to a screen. Maybe next time you're at his house, you can bring one of your favorite videos to watch instead. He might think it's pretty cool.
He's apparently in all the Kung Fu Pandas.
So at least Kristen wrapped up the movie by saying, if your friend wants you to watch something that you don't want to watch, make them listen to this episode. They might think it's cool. But anyway, so we've dwelled enough on this episode.
He was in, like, he voices characters in a bunch of DreamWorks movies.
St. Paul, A Man from Tarsus, and St. Paul Set Apart by God. Sam Johnson and Rodney Rathbone journey back to see Paul's life in the Imagination Station, which has been modified to allow people who journey in it to become a character.
I don't like what Jason's doing to the Imagination Station. It's just too much. No, stop it.
Sorry.
Though it was kind of funny how they made
Sam and Rodney.
Yeah, Rodney, the bad guy.
Yeah, that is true.
And everything.
Right.
Worse.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I agree with you about Jason and the Imagination Station. I think they added some good new touches to it, but like two people being able to beam in at the same time. Again, I just picture everyone descending from the sky.
Yeah. No, they're mostly likely appearing in closets and barrels.
Yeah, that would be so funny.
Yeah.
Jason,
Or
what
they're just like appearing out of nowhere.
Witchcraft! Hopefully I never do a Puritan adventure.
Oh gosh.
But it's a good retelling of a story of St. Paul. You hit this, again, small problem where there's not as much story as they're giving time to.
But I feel like it needed to be longer than an episode.
That is a
Which
problem.
is kind of the problem, where at one point it's a little long, but at the other point I feel like there's too much for one episode.
They could have had them all beam out when they had to catch Rodney and they have to do something at Wit's End.
That would have been boring, though.
Maybe they could have had a nice ice cream sundae. It's probably free.
Okay, well.
Anyway, next episode. Victim of circumstance, Rodney Rathbone falls through a roof at Wit's End one night and sues Jack Allen and Jason Whittaker for the damages.
Oh, this is an episode that would be good for nowadays.
Yeah, because everyone sues everybody.
This
For
is
like really stupid stuff. It was completely Rodney's fault.
It was.
It should not have been up there in the first place. I mean, like, common sense, folks.
Right. That is true.
I feel like this is probably a response to like the whole McDonald's case.
I feel like that happened after this, though, but maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway.
They did say you could even. There was someone who got paid millions of dollars because she spilled coffee all over herself. And I was like,
Yeah.
But like one problem with that though, with that McDonald's story that people don't know, like that lady spilled that coffee was actually unusually hot, and she had to get skin grafts, like for the damages. And she originally just wanted enough to pay for like the surgery, and like they refused.
well, she also shouldn't have been driving with it between her legs.
I agree, but
Parts do come with cup holders.
I feel like if it's hot enough that you actually have to get like new skin.
That's what a skin graft is?
Basically.
Yes, depending on where the skin is lost, they take some from your thigh and they put it somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, that with Dad and his pinky.
Did they?
It was something. Maybe
I don't think it was that.
Anyway, moving on.
Let's not go over that.
They take something with like a lot of flesh and they put that over somewhere else.
All right.
So would have taken like flesh from her outer thigh, glute area and put it on her inner thigh.
Right. Okay.
Well, let's talk about this episode. I feel like it was a room of consequence, right?
No, they put the lawyer in the room of consequence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To see if they can get him to stop.
Yeah. I feel like that was a really kind of last-ditch effort. Like, they're like, let's see what happens if he felt this way. And I get what they're going for, but that was also a little bit like, really? Like, you're gonna try to traumatize him?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the room of consequence is all about traumatizing people.
Yeah.
And I guess everything in Wits End is about traumatizing people then.
Yeah, we can get people to use up their bullets just by turning on the elephants. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, again, at least Jack and Jason aren't fighting in this episode.
Yeah,
That's true.
they're actually on the same team this time.
Yeah. It just seems weird that Judge and Odyssey wouldn't throw this out to begin with.
Yeah. It's like, because I would have. If a kid, well, one, you have to be 18 to sue someone. You can't sue as a minor.
That is true.
So the whole trial is just a waste of time.
Why didn't we just have the court in Wits End?
Yeah, the Wits End court.
Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing. If they had the court in Wits End, they would have found Rodney guilty of doing the dumb instead of, Jason.
That is true. I mean, Jason only had to pay $1, so I think the judge kind of knew, but he was afraid of letting Rodney off.
Yeah.
Alrighty, final episode of the album, guys. A Perfect Witness, parts 1, 2, and 3. Jenny Roberts has been kidnapped. Because of her blindness, the criminals think they found the perfect hostage. Unfortunately for them, her other senses can help identify them.
I get this.
I love this episode. These episodes.
I like the first 2 parts. Part 3 feels like a different episode.
Part 3 gets very confusing, I will admit.
It does, but it's like really nice twists, and it's.
Yeah.
I just love those kind of episodes
Yeah.
where, like, the mystery and everything.
I do like the mystery. I do feel like they maybe took 2 stories and jammed them together. Like, there could have been an episode about Jenny being kidnapped and finding her captors through her blindness, and then another episode about Eugene's professor trying to take over the college.
Well, like, they were all connected together, though. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah. It just, the third part, it was a little bit like, I did like the episodes,
Yeah.
though. Okay, you probably haven't gotten this, and I won't spoil it, but, like, the investigator lady comes back in another episode, and that episode is almost as confusing.
Oh, yeah, it's
Like-
the Statue of Liberty episode, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like...
So she's like,
It's the same voice actor for sure. I'm not sure it's the same woman.
Because it's like, it's nice for you to be back in Odyssey.
Okay, but maybe it is. Okay, yes.
And that was like, why are they doing this? And what happens with that character? It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
really?
When she drives off a cliff.
Well, that's not what happened.
When she and Connie just Thelma and Louise it off a cliff.
That'd be quite the ending, but that's not.
well,
Actually, Connie's barely in this album.
I know, yeah. She was in, like, she was not there for a lot.
She's
Maybe
probably
just
recording.
classes.
She's probably recording something else.
Yeah. Like, well, Eugene wasn't in in album 60 at all, so. But anyway, what was I talking about? It's a good episode. I like the whole, twisty aspect of it. I just kind of felt like in part 3 they completely drop anything that happened to Jenny as being relevant, so. Or at least her story.
To a degree, yeah. Or after the first 5 minutes, they're like, oh, we found it, now let's go track him down, and...
Yeah. Again, solid episode. Alrighty. Any other notes?
No.
Alright, let's rate the album.
Oh, okay.
I'd go 6.5 to 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah. I was gonna say 7, but I was gonna say, people else gonna be like, well, I give it like a 4, because I didn't think it was really good. Now I feel like, well,
Well, no, I was going to give it a 7 as well, Liv. Just because I don't like Finding Dory as much as some people. But anyway, there's enough solid episodes, but I think the episodes that kind of flail pretty bad.
But I think there's stuff in it that's so kind of corny.
Yes. Alright, so that wraps up this episode, and I'll get to trivia in a moment. So, oh, what?
Nothing.
Okay, so in the episode... Wait, so in the episode of Search for Wit, what is the name of the document they are looking for?
oh,
You've heard this one?
what? I think. Wait,
It's album 27.
no, I haven't.
No.
I don't think.
I
No,
mean,
I haven't.
I know
Never
what
mind.
it is. Should I spoil it?
The name of the
Isn't it, like,
document
the
doesn't matter.
key document?
It's the Q document.
Q document, yeah.
I'll get to there eventually.
That doesn't really spoil anything.
The Q!
Oh my.
It's after Dr. Black. It's like the album where they go search for wit or something, right?
But yes.
Okay, so it's like it's a couple albums after Blackheart tries to take over Odyssey
Yeah,
again.
and tries to
So like
blow up Wit's End.
yeah, so I'll get to there probably by.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem, Liv, because join us next time when Gabe will be here, John will be in a play, and we'll be beaming John and Liv in from our family vacation to do the Eugene Sings karaoke sing-along.
No.
Are we really doing that?
No.
Gabe agreed to it. We're all doing Communicate.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, we're probably not having an album next week. We're probably going to do discussion questions or something a little less formal just for fun. But if we do... What?
Have everyone send in their questions.
Yeah, everyone send in questions or discussion topics you'd like us to talk about in the comments. And next week's episode, if we don't do that, the next episode will be the search for Wit.
Okay.
So I'm Will.
I'm John.
I'm Liv.
We'll see you next week.